This is Matt Hurt at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter, and this is ObsessiveViewer.com's The Obsessive Viewer Podcast. Hello and welcome to The Obsessive Viewer. We're a movie and TV podcast that covers a specific topic, be it genre, trope, movie, or show, each episode. You can find more of our work at ObsessiveViewer.com, and you can also like us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. And if you're in Indianapolis, on October 12th, we will be hosting our 5th annual Shocktober in Irvington event at Playground Production Studios in Irvington. You can find more information on that at shocktoberinirvington.com. Early bird tickets are going to be going on sale here soon, if not already. Just check out the Facebook page and the website for more information and to, details about it. And once again, our episode sponsor is Horror Movie Yearbook, which is a podcast that takes a few different horror movies and contextualizes them and discusses them in contrast to the current events and pop culture of the year of release. You can find that at HM Yearbook on Twitter and at horrormovieyearbook.com. And so, yeah, this is our second episode back from our impromptu hiatus, and Tiny is still not here, which he will be soon at some point, I promise.
I know where he lives. We can go knock on his door.
Yes, we can. I did send him a message that was like, hey, do you want to record this week? And he hasn't responded yet, so.
When did you send him that message?
This was like 4 hours ago.
Okay, how's it going?
He's mad that I had Kirsten on, I'm sure.
He's jealous.
Yeah, I sent him a message and saying like, hey, so we record a podcast with Kirsten, and he's like, oh, am I being replaced? I'm like, no, maybe.
Well, turns out the reviews are in, and Kirsten was pretty popular.
A ton of really good feedback.
I thought she did a great job.
Oh, I thought so too. She was great. And it's funny because I always go see movies with her and we always have conversations,
right.
And I'm like,
I feel,
probably should have.
Took too long to have her opinions on the show.
Oh yeah. So she's been joking that she's stealing the podcast from me. And, I think she might be right.
You'll be guest starring.
Yeah. So, yeah, I made sure to send her all the positive feedback, and then that went to her head, so it's...
Well, that'll happen.
Yeah. But she will be back. I'm excited because it gives a different voice to the spattering of...
Well, it gives you another person to sit there and hate on Star Wars with.
That is true. That is very true. That's the whole reason why.
No, I know.
Yeah. So she'll be back fairly soon. I don't know. We'll see. But today we have Mr. Robert Fekkes, frequent guest. So we're here today to actually talk about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And,
Fallen franchise.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll get to that in a moment, but I do have a couple of news items that we have a lot of news and stuff because we haven't had a regular episode in a long time. But... what's up? What kind of news stuff has happened that you want to bring up? Anything? I know I'm kind of springing that on you.
Yeah, you are. No time to research this or anything like that. I don't know. Right now they released the first full cast photo from It today.
Oh yeah.
And
that was cool.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There hasn't really been that much of big news. So, it's a summer news, or it's a summer movie season. So the news.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, just, news is sporadic. They've come out and said that we're not going to release the title for Avengers till near the end of the year. So I imagine we'll probably see something newsworthy come Comic-Con.
Right. When is Comic-Con?
It's coming up. I think it's in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
I want to say.
What do you have any theories on the title for Avengers?
No, and I haven't even been thinking about it. I'm just kind of wanting the news to come kind of organically. I don't want to sit there and
speculate.
Right. It's I just want to see everything come as it normally would. I'm not going to stress myself out over Avengers.
Yeah, and it's funny because because in my new position at my job, my new job, I have a lot of time to listen to podcasts and everything. So what I've been doing is kind of binge listening to Slash Film Daily, which basically is a daily, every weekday breakdown of all the news stuff in movies and TV. So it's really good because obviously Slash Film is a pretty big website and they constantly post stuff. So it's like, I don't have time to sit there and read every article. So it's a good, digestion of it. Is that the word?
Yeah, it'll work. I'll accept it.
Yeah. Of news for them from the day. But like the thing that kind of gets me about it, and just this is all across the board, is the speculation. Like they're like, oh, we heard this rumor about Avengers 4, so let's beat it to death. And it's like there's nothing there. I just don't get that.
Right. I just and I don't want it to kill. I don't want it to kill my excitement just over speculation. And with Ant-Man and the Wasp coming up, I'm actually hoping that there's almost little to no reference to Avengers in it. I just kind of want to enjoy like a very light Marvel movie.
Yeah, as like a palate cleanser.
Right, yeah. So I'm kind of, it sounds like that's what we're going to get, and I'm hoping that's what we get. So I'm really looking forward to that just for that reason. I really want it to just, let me take a breather.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
There is a little news tidbit that did come out like a week or two ago that's not good news. They're moving forward with another Ninja Turtle movie with the Michael Bay thing, and it's just
did they say whether or not it was going to be a reboot or continuation?
They like the articles that I read had the word reboot in it, and I'm just kind of like, if you're going to reboot the franchise, give it at least a half a decade.
Sure,
let's calm down, guys. Give it a half a decade. You'll have 5 years of new comic book stories to maybe build on,
right?
And just let it wash out of the public's mind for a second. Nickelodeon's already putting out a new Ninja Turtle TV cartoon show. Let that kind of do the job for a bit and just take a break. Because that last one was just a piece of garbage.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
How would you feel about something similar to like what they're doing with like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Like,
well, they
separate.
They kind of tried that with the animated movie. And
that's right.
And I'm a huge fan of that animated Ninja Turtle movie. I thought it was really good. What I would like to see, and I don't see them doing, is having more of a darker tone to the Turtles franchise. Yeah. I think that would be neat. And I know that's not really financially feasible for the studios because they're going to get the money from children for a franchise like that. So I get it.
And there's merchandising to consider too.
Right. And so I'll continue to read the comic book and that sustains me for my turtle needs because the comic book's fantastic.
Right.
So, but yeah, there's a little news tidbit.
Yeah. And a final piece of news, and this will lead in somewhat to our review, but so AMC released a MoviePass killer kind of thing. Legit killer because I read today that MoviePass is out of money. Oh yeah, it is struggling very, very badly. Like, for background, for those, like a couple years ago, I raved about MoviePass.
You did.
It was because I had I think it was like my tax return or something. I was like, you know what? I've heard about this MoviePass thing. I'm just going to pay for a year's worth of it and then see as many movies as I can. And it'll be a nice experiment. So I paid $400, got 1 year's worth of MoviePass. The way MoviePass is set up is that they send you a MasterCard in the mail that you basically go to the theater, open the app, check into a movie, and then that automatically loads onto the card that you have, the amount of the ticket, you pay for the ticket, and then you see a movie. So do that enough times, you're going to break even or it's going to pay for itself. And so in recent years, I just did that for 1 year and I saw like 69 movies with the MoviePass in that 1 year time frame. Yeah. And I saved like almost $200.
And that's
is good.
That's decent.
Yeah. But the problem that I started having was that like me and Kirsten, guest last week, we'd go see movies all the time.
Right.
And it became a problem because I'm not a punctual person. And she couldn't buy her ticket until I was there to buy my ticket.
Right.
And I couldn't buy the ticket ahead of time. So when I eventually dropped MoviePass, like whenever we go see a movie, we make plans like Tuesday or Wednesday. We buy our tickets. We have like our seats that we prefer, and that's it. And so I just said goodbye to MoviePass. And then here in the last year and a half, 2 years, they went off the deep end. Basically, MoviePass started selling their membership for $10 a month.
Yes, and I almost got into it then, but the process to me seemed too convoluted.
Yeah. Not only that, but they had a lot of customer service issues because when they announced that price point, they did not anticipate the amount of people signing up. So
they should have.
They really should.
Why else would you have that price point?
Exactly. So there were I have Pat and Tyler. At least Pat, I know, had to wait. I think between 1 to 3 months before he actually received his card in the mail.
It's not even worth.
Yeah, it's really not.
That's a hassle.
Yeah, and then not only that, but they kept changing things up. Like they eventually took away you can see one movie a day. It's like something like they changed it up to where you can only see a certain amount of movies. And I think the people that had like memberships already were grandfathered in, but any new ones would be you can only see 4 movies for the month, and they kept changing it up.
Oh, then their downfall is of their own volition then.
Yeah. They were using their service as market research for what they would do. And it's ridiculous.
For market research for AMC to put out their better version.
Oh yeah, and there was a lot of like not outcry, but a lot of kind of conflict because AMC said that they wouldn't.
Right.
At one point, they said that they wouldn't accept MoviePass, and it's because like a lot of people theorized that they were working on their own thing.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that in a moment. But like more about MoviePass is that like they're owned by some data mining company or something. So the way that they can, like they're losing money up front with the MoviePass price point and everything, but the amount of money they're making from research and from data analytics and stuff like that they're getting is somehow it was theorized to make it so that they're at least breaking even. But the company that owns them, last I heard, their stock plummeted and they're actually trading below $1 per share.
Oh.
And like I don't know if this is the right wording because I don't know the stock exchange or anything, but there's a chance that they may not be able to trade on the NASDAQ. Is that the right word?
Well, it depends on which, if they're on the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, or, I forget the other one.
I'm 99% sure it's NASDAQ.
But yeah, if their market shares dip below a certain price, it's not profitable for the market to even sustain their business. So they'll basically go bankrupt.
Yep. And so that's and then the other thing is that MoviePass started selling merch.
Oh.
Like hats and shirts and hoodies.
That'd be like buying a baseball cap from Las Vegas that said Las Vegas.
Look, that is a stylish baseball cap.
So stylish.
And I have a reason for buying that.
I see you still have the sticker on it too.
I do, because I'm, super cool.
Your hood.
The reason that I bought that is because I did not put sunscreen on the top of my head. So, like, that day after the cabana, my head was, like, just sunburned.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that's why I got it.
All right.
And they were also, like, 2 for $20, so I got another one, just a lame, like, welcome to fabulous Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I gave it to my sister as a souvenir.
For taking care of your cat.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
moving on.
So in addition to all that trouble with MoviePass, they also had competition come up. Before AMC did their A-list, there's this company called Cinemia. Have you ever heard of this?
No, I didn't even know there was a...
Okay. So it's basically a MoviePass-like subscription service, but I think their main thing is that they could accommodate couples. So, like, you could do, like, a membership where you get two tickets, and it's still a monthly membership and stuff like that. But they have different like price tiers, and I haven't heard much about them, but I know that they exist. But last week, conveniently, the day on my birthday, AMC launched A-List, which for those listening, A-List is basically if you have a Stubs membership, it works the same way. You just sign up for it. It's $20 or $19.99 per month. You get to see 3 movies every week. So the way it's set up is like they have reservations that you can make. So you can in the app, you can buy your ticket ahead of time, choose your seat. And it just basically
You can also
goes on that.
buy an extra ticket too for a friend.
Can you?
Yeah.
I haven't tried that.
So you can buy 2 tickets. It's just your credit card will that you have logged on to your app just charges for the extra ticket.
Oh, okay. See, I thought you meant like it would be that would go toward your 3.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, but it allows you to, so if I'm, Cassie hasn't signed up for it yet, but if me and Cassie go see a movie together, I can use my MoviePass to get my free ticket and then, just purchase hers so we make sure we have it together.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really interesting. Nice. But yeah, so there's that. It's every week you get to see 3 movies, and I believe if I'm reading the app right, every Friday is when the weekend.
Yes,
so,
that's when it resets.
So it resets on Friday. You get 3 more for the week. That way you can see new movies each weekend.
Right.
Which is cool. But also, one of the big things about it, and I failed to mention this, but one of the more recent things that MoviePass did that's absolutely asinine is that I mentioned that they're doing merch, which I'm kind of tempted to get like a MoviePass shirt because I feel like it would be like
why
a hipster like
MoviePass.
Yeah, like you
grow out your man bun.
You might see like a douchebag wearing like a Blockbuster shirt or. Now that I say it out loud, it seems stupid, but
I'd wear a Blockbuster shirt.
Yeah, right?
Or a Red Giraffe shirt.
Oh, Red Giraffe.
Yeah, Red Giraffe.
They had an adult section.
So does Family Video.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, they're still kicking.
They are.
But
amazingly.
But in addition to the merch stuff, which I was really disappointed because I read that like there was this really cynical article about how MoviePass is now stooping to selling merch to try to make their ends meet and everything, and it's ridiculous that each item in their store costs more than the actual membership. It's like $15 for a hat or a shirt. But the thing that I was really disappointed in was that they mentioned that they were pun filled. So the names of them was like Good Hat Hunting or something, or Hat Damon.
Okay.
And like, something with shirt. Something like the names of the merch all had puns. And so I saw that and I was like, oh my God.
I'll take it all.
But it's just the names of the items.
But not the actual items themselves.
All of it is just logo of MoviePass.
Well, yeah, I don't know what you expected.
Yeah, well, I was so disappointed. Like, why put that much effort to make puns on the names of the stuff?
To get people like you interested. Clickbait.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So in addition to all that, MoviePass also implemented new restrictions. So they introduced surge pricing. Did you hear about this?
I did see that.
Okay.
And right then and there, I was like,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, fuck off.
Because first of all, like you can't with MoviePass, and this has always been the mainstay of it, you can't do like IMAX or 3D screenings,
right.
Which I don't care. But surge pricing is if there's a movie that has high demand, you have to pay an extra couple of bucks.
Yeah.
When you like that defeats the entire purpose of the product. And also, I guess that they were trying to throw their weight behind certain movies. So, like, they were trying to help promote like that movie Gotti with.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they went bankrupt.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, it's apparently a terrible movie, but they're like promoting it and stuff, and like it's been the object of ridicule all over the internet because of that. So yeah. So anyway. This is a very long-winded way of and a way of saying that AMC now has an A-list feature that you pay $20 a month, all that stuff. And what's interesting about this is that like I almost exclusively go to AMC's anyway.
Me too. Yeah. I mean that's closest to my house.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken over a few movie theaters anyway. They took over the Carmike over in Plainfield, so that's an AMC now.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm almost just waiting for them to buy out Regal.
Yeah. Well, and me and Tiny talked about this on a previous episode, but like the Regal over by here, Shiloh, it's like, I mean, it's a good theater, but
I haven't been in that theater in years.
It's the thing that I love about it is that they always have like the AC cranked. So like it's nice and cold in there. and I love it.
Fair.
But the sound is terrible. Like, it's horrible. Like, I saw Blade Runner 2049, and I was like,
that's a very bass heavy.
It is, and like it's incredible. Like, I regret not seeing it at like an AMC or like a place with better sound, because that theater they need to upgrade everything. But yeah, so we both signed up for A-List.
Yes,
and I've seen 2 movies with it now, and you've seen 1.
And I'll see another tomorrow. And as soon as I do, it'll already have paid for itself.
Yeah, Same here.
So.
Oh yeah.
Like, I saw Sicario, and that was a $12 movie ticket, normally. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow I'm going to see Incredibles. And right there, that'll be at least 10.
Yeah.
So, right then, that's 2 movies in the matter of 3 days, and boom. Got my money's worth.
And that's perfect. Yeah. And like, I believe that it also goes toward your Stubbs points too.
Yeah. And it's idiot proof too. The app is so easy to use. Like, I feel like right now we're advertising for AMC, but it's legit just that good of a service.
I would say, hey, AMC, give us money, but I'm saving so much money anyway. Like, I mean, it's like you said, it's idiot proof. Like, it's the same process of getting a ticket that I would do anyway. Like, I would be texting Kirsten, say, hey, let's get our tickets. And we would sync up like when we were going to get tickets, and I can do the same thing.
Right.
And like, I've used it twice. And another thing about AMC A-List is that it goes across the board with any type of ticket. So
which I can't believe that.
I know.
IMAX.
Oh yeah.
And I'm past the point where I get excited about IMAX.
Yeah, me too.
Solo was fun to see in IMAX. Yeah, well, I hate 3D movies.
Me too.
So I'm unless I absolutely have to, I'm not going to get 3D. Yeah. But it's, people dig that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that they're just, an IMAX ticket with 3D that's an $18 ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like, right then you've made it.
Like, I went and saw Jurassic World on a whim, and basically, like, the timing didn't work out that I could go to a 2D screening, so I was like, you know what?
Me too. I had to see a 3D screening.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It was because I went after work.
Oh, okay.
And, I had to go see something that was late enough after I got off my shift, and the only thing that was 3D, and I was like, well,
gotcha.
All right.
Did you see it at Southern Plaza then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I saw it at Trader's Point in 3D in IMAX.
Oh, okay. Mine was just 3D.
Okay. So we can kind of go into our review here. First, we'll talk about our theater experience. But first, I'm going to go ahead and read the plot description, courtesy of IMDb. When the island's dormant volcano begins roaring to life, Owen and Claire mount a campaign to rescue the remaining dinosaurs from this extinction-level event. And so this is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Obviously, it's the follow-up to 2015's Jurassic World. And we are going to go into a non-spoiler review, and then once we hit spoilers, we'll put a spoiler warning in there. So you saw it in 3D. I saw it in IMAX 3D. And to go back to our talk about A-List, is like I've already paid for it because I paid.
And then some.
Oh yeah. It's like $17.95 for the IMAX ticket, and then I saw Incredibles 2 on Saturday, and that was a $12 ticket. Which, if you follow me on Letterboxd, I'm going to try as hard as I can to stay diligent with this. But I have a specific list that I have on my profile that I'm going to track every movie I see with A-List, and like in the notes for each screening or each movie, I put the like location, the date, the time of the screening, also the price of it. And so, like,
that's a good idea.
Yeah. And another thing about A-List that we forgot to mention was that it's a 3-month commitment, which I thought was interesting.
I thought that was really weird. I was like, 3 months? That's nothing.
Like, exactly. But like, it's like if you want to cancel it, like you can't cancel it until you pay 3 months. But also they do have a 12-month, like guarantee that the price won't change or anything. So
I'm sure within a year or two, the price will change. Yeah. I would be surprised if it changes drastically. Like, I would be shocked if it rose $5.
Oh yeah, me too. And I would still pay $5 more for it.
I would too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But anyway, so theater experience for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I'll go first. The IMAX 3D screening, I hate 3D so much.
I'm with you right there.
Yeah.
I just there's never been a movie, with the exception of one, where I thought it was enhanced by the 3D.
Avatar?
No, I thought the 3D in Avatar was garbage.
Really?
I did. And you know, I'll get some hate for this.
Mm-hmm.
I defend this franchise, at least the early movies. Transformers, Dark of the Moon.
Yeah.
I really, first of all, I really enjoy that movie. Second of all, like, I thought they did a great job, like 3D stuff in that viewing.
That's fair.
But you know, it's a popcorn movie and it's spectacle. But anything else, no. Like, I've never walked out of a movie theater besides that one saying, you know what, I'm really glad I saw that in 3D.
Yeah. Like, I was actively angry at 3D. And I think, like, okay, for some people, it may be an immersive experience. That's fine.
Teach their own. Yeah.
To each their own. But there is something that my brain does when I watch a 3D movie that it can't, maybe it's because I don't watch enough, but like I can't reconcile the 3D like depth in a way that, like, I don't know if this is just how everyone is with it, but like when I'm seeing like Owen and Claire walking through the jungle and they're popping out of the screen and the jungle is in the background still in 2D, it just has this disconnect with me. Like, this is the opposite of immersive. This
right.
is just...
It makes me very much aware that I am watching a spectacle or
Exactly.
a movie, or it takes me out of the experience too.
Absolutely. And maybe it's because we see so many movies in 2D that it's just how we're wired.
You know, and you know, I'm sure kids love it, but for the most part, most of the adults I talk to don't care for it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me being an old curmudgeon at this point, and you know, like, back in my day type of thing. But I just
can't even hang in Vegas.
I know, right? My knees are bothering me. Can't hang in Vegas.
But the other kind of thing that I was perturbed by is that, okay, so AMC, like all the big chains now have reclined seats.
Sure.
And I am so spoiled with that.
Oh, and the IMAX didn't have reclined
IMAX
seats?
did not have it. They had the old seats to accommodate more.
I really hope
seats.
you went and asked to speak with the manager.
I didn't. I didn't. But the thing is, like, I was kind of bored and kind of getting antsy and kind of uncomfortable because, like, I'm so used to being, you know, pampered.
Yeah.
So, like, I went to the bathroom and I thought about getting a drink from the concession stand, so I actually left the theater. And then, like, I noticed when I was, like, washing my hands, I looked at the mirror and, like, my eyes were, like, bloodshot, and, like, I think just there was so much strain on the 3D.
Yeah, I'm sure that puts a strain on the eyes, the ocular system.
Yeah. Plus, it's, like, extra weight on the bridge of my nose because I wear glasses, and, like, so now, like, the bridge of my nose is sore because it's, like, working out its muscle. But yeah, it's just, it's terrible. If I can avoid it, I'm not going to see an IMAX 3D movie.
I'm same way. And we won't go into Solo or anything, but the IMAX experience there was good for me because it wasn't in 3D. So I can get behind an IMAX movie that's not in 3D, especially now that I have a MoviePass.
Yeah, me too. Like, IMAX 2D is fine with me.
Right.
I saw Logan that way.
That's a good one to see.
Yeah. Again, we got to the theater late, and at that time they didn't. I don't think they had the assigned seats, or I think they did, but we just got there late. And like we were sitting like 4 rows back, off to the right side.
That's a terrible IMAX.
Yeah.
Seat.
Oh yeah. And plus, I had to pee so bad during that movie. Because we got drinks beforehand. Which, by the way, when Kirsten and I saw Solo, we got there early and we decided to get a drink at the little MacGuffins thing.
Right.
And they had like this blue like mixed drink that was like themed, like, oh, it's the smuggler's
drink
or whatever. So like we each got one of those, and then like they're like, all right, well that'll be $15 a piece. And I'm like, oh, holy shit, man. Okay. I mean, it's good, but...
Thought I came home from Vegas.
Yeah, right? So, anyway, how was the 3D non-IMAX?
3D sucked. Non-IMAX, that's fine. I went to a late showing, so it wasn't very crowded, so I didn't have to deal with screaming kids. Although someone did someone brought an infant, and I went to an 11:20 showing.
My God!
And someone brought an infant, and I was just waiting for it. I will say this: the baby didn't make a peep.
Nice.
So I was shocked.
Probably because it was
probably was asleep.
Yeah.
But screaming dinosaurs. I figured that obviously a baby's not going to love a screaming dinosaur. But
I can imagine the imagery in the little baby's head, like when it's having dreams. Like it's just right.
So yeah, the movie experience was a movie experience with the added disappointment of the movie. So.
Yeah, and more praise for A-List is that it's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy to use. So
yeah.
Did they ask to see your ID?
No.
Really? Okay. See, they didn't at Traders Point when I saw the movie we're about to review, Jurassic World, but they did at Southern Plaza when I saw Incredibles 2.
I could see them doing that, though. That's fair.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, what did you think? First, I guess we can postpone a little bit more. What did you think of Jurassic World in 2015?
I didn't care for it. I thought about revisiting it and giving it a second shot, and I thought maybe I was a little harsh on it, thinking on it, but I probably would still have similar opinions to it. But walking out of it, I didn't care for it. I thought it, a lot of things didn't make sense, and the plot points were just there for a plot point.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't jive with me. Like, I will say this, like, it was fun seeing the park in operation.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that aspect of it, but some of the way things went, I thought it was just too stupid.
Yeah. And
then they just doubled down on that for Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah. So what were you, Jurassic World I didn't like. We reviewed it on the podcast. I mean, there was like you said, I liked seeing the park fully operational. That was cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, like they had the two kids that did nothing for me.
Right. The kids on board. Oh, there's a dinosaur, whatever, hot chick, girl.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't care who you are. If you see a fucking dinosaur, you're going to be in awe.
Yeah.
I don't care if you've seen a dinosaur every day for the rest of your life. You know, I saw an elephant up close in Thailand and got to pet it, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And it's an elephant. It's been on the earth for, thousands and millions of years too, but it's still freaking cool.
Right.
So don't tell me some, stupid. Shut up. No, it's.
And if I remember, I don't know if this is true or if this is accurate or not, but I feel like that was like their first time going to the park too.
It was.
So it's not
it was the first time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, and then also like they just magically know how to fix a Jeep.
And first of all, this Jeep's battery from fucking 20 some odd years ago is still working.
Yeah.
Please. My car battery when I get back from vacation doesn't work. And you're going to tell me this Jeep? No.
Yep.
Incorrect.
Yep.
The superhero dinosaur thing, I'm over.
Right.
They're just Deus Ex Machina at this point. And it's like, well, we need something here. Well, throw the T-Rex in there. He loves to save the day.
And like, that's the problem with the franchise is that it's just, we're expecting it. Like, we're expecting dinosaur to come save the day.
I've been telling people at this point after Fallen Kingdom, I was like, you might as well just put a fucking cape on the T-Rex at this point. Because it's he's just there to save the day.
Right.
And that's annoying.
Yeah.
It was, Spielberg put that part in the original Jurassic Park because he said he wanted the audiences to have one last awe-inspiring moment with the T-Rex.
Right.
And I love that part.
Yeah. I love
it. That scene still works for me. But it doesn't continue to work for me.
The appeal of that scene is that the entire movie, the T-Rex is the top dog. Like the thing that you're most fearful of, the apex predator of the park. And then to have it come around and like throughout the movie, we're like, oh wait, these velociraptors, they can open doors and shit. They're a lot more cunning and conniving. And to have him say, like, that's such a cool everything.
It's
like,
just it was a great send off for the end of the movie, and now it's a trope, and it's tired. It's like, we get it. Everyone loves the T-Rex, but quit making him the savior.
Yeah,
and
I would say that no other Jurassic Park movie, except for one scene in this one, which we'll get to, but there's nothing that to me is more, I wouldn't say iconic, but like more, makes me like feel more than just like that shot at the end of the original Jurassic Park when he's like roaring. I guess she is roaring in the visitor center and the
banners falling.
Like, that is so ingrained in my mind.
Yeah, that's iconic. That's one of Jurassic Park itself is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Mine too.
And that scene is just always going to stand out for me.
Yeah.
It's special. It's an amazing shot.
But Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom, they don't have that.
They don't.
Except for there was one part in Fallen Kingdom that I thought was pretty spectacular.
Well, you have to tell me about it because I don't recall anything.
Yeah. So going into Fallen Kingdom, like, first of all, what were your expectations?
I was expecting to hate it. But it was a Jurassic Park movie. So I'm gonna see it.
Mm-hmm.
I love Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they did the exact same thing. Like, I feel like Chris Pratt wasn't allowed to be much of Chris Pratt in Jurassic World.
Right.
And I feel like we got that again in Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah. And also it just felt like the comic relief, the writing was just fell completely flat.
Like, there's a couple laugh moments I got out of it. But so no, I wasn't excited for the movie. I went in expecting to dislike it, which I know is kind of unfair. So, I was already biased towards it, but I was vindicated.
Yeah, it was not. So in broad terms, non-spoiler, how did you feel about Fallen Kingdom?
I thought it was just a giant pile of garbage, regurgitated crap with a bunch of nonsense incidents that didn't make sense other than to propel the story forward.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it, but one thing that I think they were trying to make it like a shock you moment was like so telegraphed. I was sitting there and I was like, well, she's clearly a.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But yeah, so I feel like they were trying to make it like kind of like a scary movie towards like monsters in the mansion type of deal. And it was silly.
Yeah.
And
to its credit, I would say that in theory, like, do you have any more broad thoughts?
No,
okay, because we'll dive into spoilers.
It was shite.
Yeah, so my feelings about this movie is that it feels like, okay, Jurassic World was a huge hit, so let's brainstorm and come up with a bunch of ideas for a sequel, and then let's see what works. So they had this, like, a board, in my mind, they had a board filled with random ideas for different sequels, and then they're like, all right, let's just throw 2 darts at the board, whichever plan or whatever sequel idea they come out with, let's push them together into one movie. So half of the movie is one movie, the other half is a whole other movie.
Right.
And I will say that first movie that they do, I thought, like, that delivered for me. Like, I thought it was enjoyable.
A little bit. Yeah, like that was clearly the most enjoyable part. And there's some issues I had with that as well.
Yeah. Well, just in terms of just pure motivation, like, okay, like we'll talk about that in a bit. But anyway, overall, I thought, like, there was stuff that was, like, Fekkes, like you said, there was stuff that, was played as a big reveal, which I didn't expect that reveal, but also the movie did nothing with it. Like,
they really didn't.
Yeah, it was like a scene where it's just like, oh, here's a revelation about something.
I'll try to throw out what justification I think they were trying to make with it, but we'll get there. But I feel like there was no reason for it.
Right. Also, the villains in this movie were cartoonish.
Oh,
and
I take all the issues with the villains.
Yeah. Yep. I did enjoy a little bit. There was there was like a little bit of Trump bashing in it. If you noticed in an early scene, there's a news broadcast. You see like a ticker of a news ticker on the screen, and it says the president, something like the president states that he doesn't believe dinosaurs ever existed.
I wish I would have seen that, because that would have gotten a chuckle out of me.
Oh yeah. And then like I didn't make this connection until I heard someone else talking about it on a different podcast. But did you think that Toby Jones's character was modeled after Trump, like with the hair and stuff, or is that a stretch? Because I feel like it might be a
stretch. I mean, I didn't get that vibe.
Okay.
Could be wrong. I don't know why you would even make that connection, because he's an auctioneer.
Yeah, unless you're looking for that.
Right. So okay. I don't.
I'm not crazy.
I don't see it. I think that's a stretch.
That's fair. But the news ticker thing, that was I chuckled at that. But let's stop beating around the bush. I can think of a pun.
Yeah. That'll happen.
Yeah. Let's stop beating around this dead horse of a franchise and go into spoilers for Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Spoiler alert! It sucked.
Yeah.
Blue. If I don't make it back, remember, you're the one who made me come here. I'll be all right. These creatures were here before us. And if we're not careful, they're gonna be here after. Welcome to Jurassic World.
Okay, so where to begin? Where do you want to begin?
Well, let's start with the villains. Okay, so clearly our villain here is trying to, I don't know, get richer?
And okay.
You're so rich that you have the means to buy an island.
Mm-hmm.
And your whole purpose for this movie is to get enough money to do what? What are you going to do?
And the thing that kills me, and like I noticed this and I was like, are they serious? Did you notice the amount that they were auctioning these?
Yeah, $10 million? $10 million for a dinosaur.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Like, and I think 10 million was on the higher side of it, because like the first couple was like
the
4 million.
The amount of research and development that goes into these dinosaurs that these countries could utilize for God knows what, and they're like, $10 million.
Yeah,
really? And this man that can purchase a goddamn island is excited about $10 million. You have to be a billionaire.
Yeah,
you just have to be.
Yeah, like. I think the total number of the auction before everything went to shit was like...
It was like 150 million.
150, 130 maybe.
Yeah. Someone...
Yeah.
And the... LeBron James just got a contract for $164 million. Okay? And you're telling me that 20 dinosaurs isn't as expensive as LeBron James?
God, that was like the most laughable thing to me.
Yeah.
But... as far as the villains are concerned, Rafe Spall, I enjoy him as an actor. He had nothing to work with.
Right. And he couldn't bring anything to that character's motivation because there was nothing there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like, we're kind of jumping around, but I do want to mention, this is something that was pointed out on another podcast, but, he's the first character in this franchise to murder another human being. And I thought that was interesting.
I guess that's...
Yeah, because the death always comes from, dinosaurs and everything. Yeah. But, like, he, kills James Cromwell. Which also...
the most incompetent human being on the face of the planet. Did you not know that they built this entire dinosaur auctioning facility underneath your goddamn house? Like, they even have a track to bring the giant cages to the giant... massive room.
Right.
I was like, no one built that room for any other purpose except for auctioning dinosaurs.
Right.
You didn't know this was happening?
Jeez. Yep. Pretty terrible. That, and then let's go ahead and talk about the clone thing.
Okay.
Like,
so you didn't see it coming?
I didn't see it
you're
coming.
a spitting image of her. Okay, she's the clone.
I didn't, because to be fair, I wasn't paying as close attention to that. So I didn't, like, it took a couple scenes to really, like, get the fact that, oh, this is a mystery here. Okay. Cause they mentioned, like, oh, she died in a car accident, and then there was, like, the thing with the picture.
I'm a little disappointed in you, to be honest.
And see, this is the thing. I really thought that they were building it up to reveal that she was, like, the daughter of, what's her face from the original movie.
But it's genetics lab that specializes in cloning.
I thought that they were going to connect it to the original movie in some way.
I think you were trying. Yeah. I think you were just overcomplicating that. Like as soon as James Cromwell, when she goes, "That look like my mother," you were a spitting image. I was like, oh well, then she's a clone.
See, yeah, I didn't think, and like in theory, I think that that's an interesting way to take the franchise, because I'm all about adding science fiction to science fiction. But in practice, that just was like...
There was no purpose for it. You could have gotten the same effect with her just being a granddaughter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, it added nothing.
Yeah. But then you get the completely contrived, like, oh, they're alive just like me, so I'm going to let them go.
Well, and I think that was the connection they were trying to make. Like,
yeah.
She feels one with these creatures because she is of the same birthing way. I don't know. It was just, okay, little girl, please apologize to all the families that are now about to die because you just let all these fucking carnivores.
Exactly. That, and then also to leapfrog off of that, Claire, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, she is all about saving the dinosaurs and everything. And like, this was, again, pointed out on another podcast, but it really opened my eyes, because it's like, she really wants to save the animals that she, genetically had a hand in creating and everything, but that also killed probably hundreds of people in the last movie. Like, she isn't tormented by that fact. Like, I mean...
I agree. I don't know why she all of a sudden got humble. Humble's not the word I'm looking for. Why she got all philanthropic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, philanthropic.
Right?
Yeah.
There it is. You said it.
Yeah.
I don't know how she got to that point. And it's like, she was clearly all about the park and the financial gains from it in the first one.
Yeah.
You didn't get a sense of, I have such a caring for these animals, but all of a sudden now she does.
Yeah. And I mean, they could have just as easily made her more money hungry. She could have brought a couple million to the auction. She could have had her own dinosaur.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
$10 million.
Right.
And it's not like, if these animals would have died on the island from the volcano, it's not like they don't have the technology to recreate them.
Yeah.
Because they did.
Exactly.
They recreated a whole new dinosaur again. And let's be honest, Indoraptor is just Andromedus Rex or whatever his name was, miniature.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm like,
really
come on. That's so lazy. So lazy.
Also, like, the laser pointer thing, which I thought was kind of funny because it made me think of cats, but
that made me so mad.
Right. Well, the whole idea of like the end where Owen's like they have that look where it's like, okay, well, she has the gun, so she's gonna lure him away.
How does she know about that? Because I don't recall her being in the auctioning place. I recall her being locked in a cage.
I think she was in... Well, I don't remember when they showed that then. Because I feel like they were still up, like, in the rafters.
I feel they were not.
I think they were, because I remember Owen saying, like, that dinosaur can't leave here. Like, it can't go
all
away.
right. Okay, you might be right.
But... the sheer fact that it's like, okay, like, I imagine, like, being in Chris Pratt's position in that scene, and, like, say like you and I are in that position. I give a knowing glance at you as you have the gun that can lure the Indoraptor away from me, and you point it at me.
Yeah, right. Like, what are you doing?
What the fuck are you doing?
Stop!
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he's gonna know that he's gonna have to die.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I can't gauge the speed of this genetically created animal.
Yeah. And just, but yeah.
I was like, fuck you.
Ridiculous. But like the whole idea of her, like them wanting to save it, it's like, I don't know. But in addition to all of that, I will say that when Chris Pratt does his whole badass, like knocking down the security guys at the auction thing,
I hated it.
I loved it because all I thought was like, I want everyone in this room to die because, they set it up, they want to just...
Okay.
I kind of felt that.
But it was I'm Chris Pratt and I'm going to take down every single one of you guys one at a time.
Oh yeah. It was
it was just that stupid trope where, okay guys, wait your turn. We don't want to make this unfair.
It really was.
And like he would just knock one guy out, move on to the next one, knock him out, move on to the next one. Like, and it's just like, guys, we should be past this.
Yeah. Also the Whitley, the character Whitley, what was the Velociraptor trainer's name in the first movie?
I don't remember.
Oh, the clever girl. Anyway, this Whitley guy.
Oh, you mean in Jurassic Park? Robert Muldoon.
Muldoon, yes. I felt like the Whitley guy was like an evil version of him or something because he kind of had like a swagger to
accent.
him. Yeah, maybe not so much the accent, but just like he just had like a swagger to him. But
I can kind of see.
Yeah, but like obviously he's gonna double cross him in the jungle and everything.
Right.
We'll talk separately about the whole island thing, but when he goes into the cage,
that made me so mad.
I was so annoyed.
Right. All right. First of all, you knew when he took the tooth out of the Stegosaurus that there was a reason why they're going to make him be this fucking tooth fairy of dinosaurs. Right. And so this idiot, in all his wisdom, who's clearly an experienced hunter,
right, decides,
this genetically engineered dinosaur that I just shot with my tranquilizer that's clearly
one trank with it.
I'm going to just hop into this cage.
Right.
What could possibly go wrong? And then it's just like, nobody would make that stupid mistake.
Oh, yeah.
They just wouldn't.
Yeah. They just need a reason for the Indoraptor to get out.
Right. And like, I would have been better off if, like, I don't know, the Indoraptor, like, chewed through a bar.
Yeah.
Like, that would have made not much sense, but more sense than this idiot, like, I'm going to open this cage, get my tooth.
Oh, yeah. The death scene of him was pretty cool, though.
Except for the part where the fucking raptor's just fucking with him. Come on. Like, it's like, hey, my tail's up here. Oh, what? Nothing. Oh, I'm asleep. Stop.
I chuckle groaned at that a little bit. Cause like, I have what I like to think is a refined sense of humor. And,
I'm pretty sure I just went stop and shook my head at that point. I was so done with the movie. Yeah. Then I was just.
Yeah. And so, I'll say this because I'm guessing you didn't stay for after the credits.
No, but I was told.
Did you hear about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what it is exactly, or did you research? Did you just know that there was a?
I know that there was a like, what was it? I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I just know there was a scene. I didn't.
Okay. There's a, I guess, because we're kind of jumping around, but it's a scene of two pterodactyls at night, flying around. And then I didn't stop and stay for it, but it's on, someone bootlegged it on YouTube. Uh-huh. But then the camera pans out and it's the Vegas Strip.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
So yeah, but it's like I heard that it's like, oh, something about Vegas, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And like I'm thinking like, oh, it's gonna be something like crazy, but nope, it's just two pterodactyls flying around.
I guess we all have to have an end credit scene anymore.
Yeah, but Jeff Goldblum. Let's talk about him before we go back to the island. I'm glad that I knew that he was only in 2 scenes because it just felt like they were promoting it like he was going to be a central figure.
I agree, and you guys talked about this on the last podcast, and it was disingenuous of the advertising for it.
Oh yeah,
like they made a big deal that Jeff Goldblum was back in the franchise.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed his scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very much within his character.
Yeah.
I found myself agreeing with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as much as I love the concept of living dinosaurs, I put myself in that position.
Mm-hmm.
If I were in this universe, I'd be like, I think I'd be on his side.
Yeah.
Let nature take its course.
Oh, yeah.
You know, let the dinosaurs go.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that he didn't have a more integral role. It would have been a lot better if nobody knew that he was in it.
Yeah. Totally.
And he just happened to be in it.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a lot stronger.
Right.
Instead of just disappointing people, be like, well, here's your 2 scenes.
Yeah. I kind of take a lot of issue with the fact that the trailers have the last line of the movie in the fucking trailers. Yeah. Like, come on. But I do, as silly and nonsensical and just stupid as this movie is, I kind of like the idea of it recontextualizing the name Jurassic World. Because the first one we had, Jurassic World, it's a theme park and everything.
Right.
Now, literally, we are living in a Jurassic World.
All right, so I'll say this, and I'm ashamed to say it.
Mm-hmm.
With the ending of this movie, I find the concept of the next movie very intriguing.
I kind of do too. Yeah, I
think they can do some interesting things with having the dinosaurs officially loose within human society.
Yeah.
I would like to see a time jump movie.
Definitely.
So that's not going to happen because they're going to want Chris Pratt in it, and they're not going to age Chris Pratt 30 years.
Right. Unless they clone him.
You're a spitting image of Owen.
Right.
No, that'd be the movie I'd want to see next. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm ashamed to say it. I'm intrigued with what they're going to do.
Because at the end of the day, dinosaurs are pretty freaking cool.
They are, and it's a spectacle. And when done right, it's a blast to see. But it wasn't done right.
Right. Exactly.
There were a couple good scenes. Like I love the stuff with the dome-headed dinosaur. Yeah. I thought that was fun.
Yeah. Fun blockbuster popcorn shit.
Right. Yeah. But that's what Jurassic Park is.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend that Jurassic Park is some, philosophical movie. It's a fun popcorn movie. It's a great story with great concepts. And I'm not trying to, minimize its impact on film or my life, because it's had a great impact on my life. Oh yeah. But it's nothing that's going to change thought processes within the world.
The great thing about the first one for me is that it made, it opened, for me at least, as a kid seeing it, it opened up this entire world. Absolutely. Dinosaurs, science, I go back watching it as an adult, I admire the shit out of the lunch scene where they're all debating whether or not they should have, the whole.
Right. That's a great scene.
Yeah, that's an amazing scene. And have you read the books?
Yes. I've read Jurassic Park and Jurassic Lost World.
Yeah. I just recently listened to them on Audible, and they're really strong books.
They are great books.
Yeah.
It's been probably a decade and a half since I've read either of them, but they bring up a lot of good, what's what we're looking for?
Debate or
moral standing within scientific advancement.
Oh yeah.
And Michael Crichton's a very thoughtful writer anyway, so that's right up his alleys.
Absolutely.
And I really enjoyed those portions of both of those books. And now I kind of want to go back and reread them, because I remember I read those books when I was in 6th grade.
Nice.
Yeah, they were so good.
Nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed them. But to kind of circle back and go
well,
go ahead.
One more thing with the mansion stuff. So they brought back Henry, the scientist, which I'm okay with.
Right.
But what bothered me was all of a sudden he gets all high and mighty about them selling the Indoraptor. I'm like, you're the most fucking evil guy here.
Right.
You're the one that's mangling nature for profit. Don't act indignant now that he's like, well, I'm going to sell the Indigo. What did you think they were doing with the Indoraptor?
Yeah.
So don't, as big of a pompous ass as you came off in Jurassic World, just stop.
Also, the whole fervor over the Indoraptor and how everyone's bidding for it, they were like, everyone's like, oh no, it's a prototype, it's not for sale. Which, first of all, okay,
prototype?
Yeah. And then also, like, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's like they're like getting super excited because they were like $20 million.
Right.
Like, oh my God. Like,
you know how rich you have to have been to make dinosaurs.
It's just, oh my God. But, okay, so before we go to like the actual, what I thought were decent parts of the movie,
Better
this
parts of
movie,
the movie.
yeah. This movie focuses a lot on Blue and Owen's connection. And I just want to say, while we're still talking about the house, the maybe one of the more eye-rolling moments for the entire movie, for me, was the scene where Blue knows that everything's about to explode around him.
Oh, I know. He's like, out of here.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. So Chris Pratt had his action hero thing.
Now
the
Blue
fucking
does.
Velociraptor has one too.
You know what, though? At this point, it wouldn't shock me if, the Velociraptors start doing accounting. You know,
Right.
they just, we get it. They're smart.
Yeah. But, and I'll say this, and I'm
like,
not...
Blue had his, like, karate moments, too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like,
oh, yeah.
stop it.
Yeah. You're gonna think that I'm joking, and you're going to think that, like, I'm putting myself out there for ridicule from everyone listening to this podcast. But the scene in the bedroom where the Indoraptor is going after the girl, and then Owen is trying to, like, he's trying to get him away from her or whatever, and then Blue comes in and saves the day.
Was that the moment you're talking about?
No.
Okay.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's still like I was still pretty much checked out, but I felt like the connection between Blue and
I thought it was an eye roll moment, man.
Well,
I was just like,
that, and then also just like the videos of him.
Now I will say this. I enjoyed the videos with Baby Blue.
Right.
I thought that was really neat because while I don't find it utterly ridiculous that that this man has a connection with this animal, I like seeing the background to it was intriguing to me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Now I think they went a little far with how capable Blue is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that part I did find enjoyable.
But, and this is not a joke, as a cat owner.
Oh, Jesus.
No, it honestly resonated with me a little bit. Like, a little part of me was like, when Blue comes to the rescue, I just imagined her and
Let me just spoil this for you. Pizza will never rescue you in any scenario.
You don't know that. But like, I just imagined her in the voice I use for, I'm secure enough to say the voice I use for Pizza, saying like, no, don't mess with my daddy. Like,
yeah.
I just imagined that. Like, she was,
Pizza, are you hearing this?
Yeah, sure am.
Yeah, he is.
Anyway, she is.
Sorry.
Yeah. But no, I will say when she hears someone outside, she does do a cat version of a growl. So, yeah.
Neville growls too.
He's also a dog. He's supposed to.
Yeah, but I'm saying
cats are self-sufficient.
Neville's not going to be able to save me from anything.
You don't know that. You had a chicken for a while, and that chicken never attacked you.
I had to throw a snowball at that chicken to keep it from attacking Neville.
Well, I mean, your dog is not as strong as Pizza, but
probably not.
Yeah. But yeah, no. But yeah, she growls at the door because she's protecting her daddy.
Good job, Pizza.
But anyway,
all right.
Thank you.
Anyway,
is she on the desk?
Yeah, she's on the desk.
She's weird. It's her Godzilla moment with all my pop figures. But anyway, so let's talk about what I think is the movie's strongest sequences.
And I agree that it is.
Yeah, the island stuff. Which, by the way, the idea of the active volcano erupting and everything is cool. But also, it's 3 years after Jurassic World. Like, that park was doomed either way.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not a geologist, but I feel like they would have been able to know that volcano was probably going to become active.
I don't know, because Hawaii.
They know that's an active volcano.
Yeah, but they didn't, like, it's not like they knew, like, oh, it's gonna erupt or anything. Is that what you're saying? Or just that it could potentially erupt?
I would never put a $1 billion theme park on an island that might erupt.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
Like, I've been to Hawaii. They don't put buildings and houses around areas that are likely to be swallowed by lava.
Sure.
Like the eruption that just happened in Hawaii, there was like 10 houses that got lost.
That's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
But how many dinosaurs?
All of them.
Yeah.
All gone. One of the biggest issues I had with the island sequences. So the movie starts off that the whole world is watching this transpire. Like every news outlet is pretty much filming this island because the last remaining dinosaurs from this experiment are about to die in this volcanic explosion. You have every news outlet with a camera pointed at this goddamn island, and nobody saw this corporation go in and start rounding up dinosaurs and putting them on a goddamn boat.
That's actually a really good point.
That made me so mad. Like, they literally make it a point to show news cameras filming the entire island, except for this part.
That did not even register with me.
That bothered me so much.
And that's true. That is true.
And I don't know if you know this, but there's these things called satellites. They also can show images of live feeds.
Right.
Turns out the news corporations have access to that too.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
I know it is.
Yeah. The actual mission I thought was cool. The escape. The escape was cool. I enjoyed it visually, like the whole geosphere thing.
It was well done.
In the water. That was well done.
Except for the T-Rex saving the day again.
Right.
So, all right, and here's an issue with me. All right, so every single one of these dinosaurs instinctively are running away from the explosion because that's what any animal would do. That's what a human would do. That's what they would feel the danger. This T-Rex is just going to stop. It's like, oh, fuck, I better save these idiots.
I mean, yeah.
No, that T-Rex would just keep running.
Right.
No, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to pick a fight with this dinosaur. Fuck this guy. So, stupid.
Yeah. Also, I thought that it was really silly for Owen to be just like, under the trank and then like him waking up.
Boom.
Yeah. And him waking up to lava coming at him. Like, in theory, it's an interesting like escape, but it's just, it felt too weird because like he can't move correctly.
Here's the thing. That trank was designed to knock out a dinosaur, and then a 200-pound man is going to come to after a few minutes.
Right.
No.
That's
and again, and I might be being too picky about it because you have to have a suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, but it makes it contrived.
It a little bit, and now the escape sequence with him was kind of neat, visually appealing too. But it's just I have a hard. I can't overlook everything.
Right.
So, and that part was just kind of like, okay.
And if the plot isn't engaging enough, you're going to look for those inconsistencies.
Now, I did enjoy the part with Claire and Franklin and the girl inside, or not the girl was with Owen, but Claire and Franklin inside the bunker.
Is it Franklin or Malcolm?
Franklin.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
I know it's Franklin because I made it a point to remember his name because I utterly hated his character.
Oh my god, yes.
He was obnoxious from the word go.
Both him and
I didn't hate the girl as much, but I still hated her.
Yeah, well, they just felt like just
tacked
cardboard
on.
cutout sidekick characters. But I did like that bunker scene. Like, just I liked the reveal of the dinosaur.
I did too.
I thought that was really cool.
I don't even know what kind of dinosaur it was, but it was neat.
I don't know either.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I'm not a paleontologist.
Yeah, an outdo-raptor. But that was cool. Like, there were some like visual flourishes to the movie that I actually enjoyed. That, and then the scene that I was talking about was the scene when they're leaving the island and you see the Brontosaurus.
Now, I will correct you on this.
Is it Brachiosaurus?
There's no such thing as Brontosaurus.
Okay.
Brontosaurus was a composite of many different long-necked dinosaurs. Okay, all right. That was a brachiosaur.
Brachiosaur.
I don't know why I know that weird tidbit.
I think it's I learned something today.
Yeah, whatever.
So the brachiosaur.
Yes, that was a good sequence.
Just the imagery of it was really cool.
I agree.
And like it was poignant to an extent. Yeah. And the brachiosaur, you're not getting on the boat.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And the imagery of the dinosaurs falling into the water too. That was, that was kind of haunting.
Yeah.
So you felt bad for them.
Yeah. These animals that
didn't ask to be brought back. Hey, there was some veggie eaters in there.
That's true.
So they didn't hurt anybody.
Right.
Except for unless you're like, oh, grass has rights too.
If you cut grass, it has that smell.
That's right. That's crying out for help. So.
Oh yeah. Did you not see The Happening? I mean, come on.
I wish I hadn't, but yes, I did.
So that whole sequence I thought was one of the high points of the movie, and but then it just went.
I didn't like
off the deep end.
Like you knew the hunter was a dick, but the whole the turn, I
was just like, it's expected.
Yeah, it's silly. Like we're not gonna, no one's gonna kill anybody on this endeavor, and I would never have believed that the rich guy that wants to be richer would advocate, okay, well, we're going to bring this expert on here. Just make sure he doesn't come back.
Right.
Like, no.
Like, the whole plot of it, like, their whole idea, like, it's ridiculous. Like, also, why do they need the dinosaurs? Because they can just make their own other ones? Like,
no, I don't have a problem with his reasoning for the expedition, or his cover reason for the expedition.
Yeah.
That, you have a new sanctuary. That's a very neat idea. That, leave the dinosaurs alone. These are the last living dinosaurs. We're no longer going to make dinosaurs, and we'll let the last ones live out their life in peace on this island secluded. That's a very cool concept.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
I like the term, like, de-extinction, like, or whatever they used to
I don't
describe
recall.
it. Yeah, they said something like, I don't know, it's like de-extinction or something, or dick-extinction, I don't know. But, it's not dick-extinction.
Right. Yeah. But, it just, I need to be richer. No,
yeah.
Do you though?
No, you don't.
Like, how much money do you need?
Right.
It's like, you have the money. You work for a man, okay? A man that's dying.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to be in charge of the financial aspects of this man's life when he's dead. And that's billions of dollars.
Right.
What could more money possibly do for you?
Right. Ugh. God, this movie. Like, that just obviously doesn't make any sense. Also, just like, why they get the dinosaurs, and like, that's cool. Oh, okay, they have the dinosaurs and everything. Like, I mean, why instantly sell them?
Right.
Like, you would think that they would, run tests. They would start making extras so they can have, like, if they need like a couple extra million here and there, they can sell the new ones.
I also have here's a couple issues I also take with the whole auction part of this. Okay. So, obviously, you have all these nefarious characters that are trying to buy dinosaurs. And I'm thinking you got, like, terrorists or gangs of third world countries or dictatorships. Like, and I'm trying to picture myself like ISIS with this fucking Stegosaurus. Like, what are they doing with it? It's like, yeah, we got a Stegosaurus. Right. Fuck if I know. And I'm also, and as a practical point, how are these nefarious characters going to get these dinosaurs out of the United States?
Yeah.
You're not going to put it in your goddamn carry-on.
Right.
I'm sure
don't know if they'll clear customs.
Your shipping has to have manifests, as I'm pretty sure customs is going to take notice to the giant fucking container.
Yeah.
What's in that? DVDs?
Right.
Oh, okay.
I saw season 2 of The Wire. I know all about this. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense why they would need it. Also, like, you have like you said, all these nefarious people grouped together. Like, there's no bad blood between any of them.
Right.
Like,
You don't think Russia's over there looking at China and be like, hey. Like, you see Putin, like, throwing spitballs
right.
at fucking Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it was almost
really dumb.
Like an Austin Powers bad guy setup movie. And it's just...
Oh, yeah. Just laughably bad.
Right.
Laughably bad. And then so, I mean, Island, cool stuff. Sidekicks did nothing for me. The opening sequence, I thought, with some issues, like, there were a couple issues with it, but, like, for the most part, that opening scene of them going in, getting the Indominus Rex bone, and then getting attacked by the T-Rex, and you know, getting swallowed up by the sea creature thing.
You know, I almost completely forgot about that scene, and I will say this, I quite enjoyed that part.
Me too. And I think a lot of that is just, I mean, it's night, it's dark, it's creepy, it was very stormy.
It was very reminiscent of the first scene in the original with them getting the raptor into the pen.
Yeah. Shoot off.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good scene.
Yeah. The one complaint is the guy, like, the guy who lost communication, and the people in the helicopter are yelling at him to hurry because there's a fucking T-Rex right behind him. Right. And he's like, what? I can't hear you.
This fucking ninja T-Rex is sneaking up on me.
Like,
no, but you know, the same argument can be made in the first one too. It's like that T-Rex did an awfully good job of sneaking into this building.
That's true. But also, you see, like, you've been communicating with these people in a helicopter. Suddenly you look up and you see them screaming.
Panicking. I was like, I better get my ass moving.
You're on an island with fucking dinosaurs.
Right. What possibly could they be yelling about?
Oh God!
Yeah. All right,
they better not have spilled my yogurt on there.
I'll give you that.
Yeah,
but you know what? To be honest, that was probably the most enjoyable part of the movie.
Oh yeah, it was just the way that it was filmed and the way that it played out was really good, and it set a good tone that the movie just did not.
Yeah, it didn't
meet.
fulfill.
Yeah, so
it's a shame.
Yeah, so we kind of mementoed this review.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, so the trailers before the movie. No, so kind of overall, where would you rank this in the franchise?
Well, Jurassic World was better. I can't, you know what? I think I would even say Jurassic Park 3 was better. And Jurassic Park 3 was just a sequence of events pulled from different ideas into a movie.
Yeah. Interesting.
And, I'm going to have to say this is the worst one for me.
Interesting. I don't think I can forgive Jurassic Park 3 because I was at least somewhat interested with some of the sequences in this movie. Like
you know what? That's fair. I'll change that. The Jurassic Park 3 is the worst because there were some concepts that. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 3 is the worst. That is a giant pile of garbage too.
Yeah. But this movie is not better than Jurassic World, and I did not like Jurassic World.
Right.
Even though this movie made me think of my cat, I couldn't get behind it. Yeah. And, like, it was funny because you mentioned that you saw it. You texted me and said that it wasn't good and everything. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to see it. Fuck it. I don't care.
Yeah, it's one of those movies you kind of have to go see.
Yeah.
Though, especially, yeah.
And I had no intention of seeing it. And then A-List happened. So I'm like, oh, well.
You know, there's going to be a lot of movies that I see that I never intended to because of A-List.
Oh, yeah.
And
so that's gonna be
all joking aside, Uncle Drew will not be one of them.
Well, wait for its Oscar push, and you'll go back and see it.
They'll get an Oscar nod for makeup.
Yeah, there was a headline that was like, Uncle Drew has something in common with Space Jam, and it's not basketball. And I'm like, I don't care enough to click this.
Right.
Like, this is a weird.
I'm like, I believe you.
Right.
Moving on.
Yeah. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, not good. You said that you're intrigued by the premise of the third one.
Yeah, I am, and it makes me mad that I am.
Yeah, and I'll probably see it, but yeah, just was not a fan. Also, probably the most egregious thing that it did was, granted, it didn't have the kids back from Jurassic World, but
I want to know what happened to that marriage.
Exactly. We've gone through 2 movies. We still don't know if they're divorced or not.
Is the brachiosaur part the part where you were talking about that was the...
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
just the shot of it.
Okay, yeah.
Which I just thought that was just beautiful.
It was a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, and, Chris Pratt has the charisma to make me more interested in the movie.
But they don't let him out.
True.
Yeah.
And the script did nothing, like, it just felt so stilted. Like, the comic relief that's supposed to be comic relief just felt so stilted and just not effective for me. So,
like, the one scene that I really thought was very Chris Prattish was the part, and they had it in the trailer when he's like, if I don't come back, no, I'll be all right. That was that was good. That was very Chris Pratt. That was a very Chris Pratt thing, and it was well delivered. And
when it happened in the movie, I'm like, all right. That's a good line. That's just a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that'll do it for our review of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Can't wait to see it again.
Oh, God. Well, that's the thing with A-List.
I'm going to leave here and go see it.
Yeah, right? And so we're gonna round out the show with a section on Potpourri, which is our section of the podcast where we talk about whatever we want, as long as it smells good, things we're looking forward to, things we've seen, just anything we want. Before we get to our parts of Potpourri, I do want to mention, because we talked about Vegas, when it comes to traveling, like being on the airplane and stuff, do you bring movies with you? Do you what did you watch on this trip?
This trip, on the way there, I downloaded my digital copy of Baby Driver.
Oh, nice.
Watched it, and I have a Nintendo Switch, so that's great for travel.
Nice.
And on the way back, I was unable to download anything else for time constraints.
Sure.
And so I just rented Game Night.
Oh, okay. How was that?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I'd probably never go out of my way to watch it again, but it was enjoyable.
Nice.
I'll tell you who had the best role in it though was what's his name? Jesse Plemons. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was hilarious.
Nice.
In a dry, creepy sort of way. Like he was a fun character.
I watched about 15 minutes of it, and then I was just dozing off, so I couldn't finish it, but I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, it's especially for a plane ride.
Yeah,
it was
sure.
It occupied the time, and I enjoyed it. So,
Interesting. So this was the first time I've been on a plane, and since the last time I went to Vegas, actually. So it's been a few years. And on the way there, I just listened to audiobooks. So I was listening to Doomickey by Stephen King. Check out Tower Junkies. It'll probably have a new episode at some point in the future. I don't know. And then on the way back, I was just out of it. I had downloaded a bunch of stuff to my tablet.
Yeah.
On Netflix, and then also on Amazon Prime. I had the full season of Lore and a few things on Amazon Prime, like Escape from New York, and a couple other movies. And then on Netflix, I had downloaded most of the first season of Mindhunter, which I'll go ahead and spring into my potpourri. I watched the first season of Mindhunter on Netflix. Yeah. Watched the first few episodes on the airplane. And then, it's interesting. Have you watched Mindhunter?
No.
Okay. So Mindhunter is based on a book from two FBI profilers who they spearheaded. My understanding is that they spearheaded the idea of FBI profiling in the 70s. So it's at a time where people just think there's nothing psychological about crime. It's just, they're heat of the moment, passion killings and stuff. There's no the concept of a serial killer doesn't exist.
Right.
And someone that's compelled just by their brain chemistry is unheard of. So Mindhunter is based on the book. which is a true account. And it is basically taking those two subjects and making like fictionalized versions of them. So not like they're not the same people, but they're kind of stand-ins. Right. So it kind of tracks, I don't remember the characters' names, but the main guy is this kind of quiet, reserved, kind of boyish kind of guy that he's the one that's kind of bringing like this to the attention of everyone. Like, why don't we research this stuff? And then his kind of partner who he partners up with is this kind of grizzled old, like kind of FBI investigator who they basically team up, and then they have a third person who's a psychologist or something that's helping with the research. So it's basically the first season is them going through and interviewing murderers to get a sense of what they've done and like why they do what they do. And what's fascinating is that the characters that they interview are like the characters are based on real serial killers. And so there is one in particular, Ed Kemper, who the actor portraying him was in I, Tonya. He played the bodyguard in I, Tonya. Did you ever see that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Scene stealer.
I love that movie.
He is so amazing in the show.
Is he?
Like, he just goes, like, he has such a grasp on that character. And it's fascinating because it's a real serial killer. Like, he had to, like, research this actual serial killer.
Did they say who it was? Or?
Ed Kemper. And they, like, that's the actual guy's name.
Okay.
And, like, I guess there's, like, videos that compare, like, the actual, like, interviews with Ed Kemper with his performance, and it's, like, it's very close.
Really?
Yeah. And so that's kind of the standout. That's the one that gets the most screen time. But a lot of the show is just them going and talking to different people who've committed different heinous acts that are all based on, like, real, like, our actual people that in the 70s murdered a bunch of people. So, and there's a lot of stuff with like how it affects their home life and stuff, and it's kind of that kind of standard dramatic thing.
Cop procedural. Yeah.
The thing that, and I want to dance around it because I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a kind of running thing throughout the season that, like, after the first or couple episodes, the episodes start, like the beginning of the episode is a short cold open. Most of them are like 30 seconds of just this random guy doing just innocuous things. So he's just like, you get the sense that like, oh, he's got some fucked up shit going on, and that he's like one of the people that they're going to be chasing and everything. So as the season progresses, I'm sitting here formulating ideas like when did this serial killer do, like, when was he active? Are they hinting at this serial killer? Is that what season 2 is going to be about? And then by the end of it, it doesn't resolve itself in a way that's satisfying. And like, it's nothing, like, it doesn't come together in a way that, that pays off in really any way. And it is based on some truth, and like Googling it, like I had to Google to find out like what they were doing because it was so vague and nondescript. I didn't know. And like reading it, I was like so let down because it's a very, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's like, it's a high profile thing that they're doing, but the circumstances of it feels like why are they introducing this in any way at this point in the show? Like it makes no sense for how they're going to go in future seasons. Like it's not like it's not as clean cut as like, oh, this is a serial killer that was active like the year after this season is set. So the next season is going to be them chasing him. It's like something completely different, and it doesn't make sense as far as putting together a narrative for future seasons. That's as much as I'll say, because that's vague.
Yeah, it's very vague.
Yeah, but I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, overall performances are really good. It's a very interesting show. And
how many episodes?
10. One thing that I did have a problem with though is that it doesn't seem to really dive into the psychology of it. Like, it feels like the show, I wouldn't say is dumbing down the stuff, but it's like, it's a lot of like them talking to the serial killers and them having like a creepy like, oh, I murdered my mother and decapitated her, and then had
kind of like Clarice and Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, but it's none of like they go back to their office and stuff, and it's not like they're sitting there thinking like they're not really talking through like the mental processes of this stuff, or like they're not theorizing on it. It's just like, okay, we're just compiling all this data, and then we'll figure it out.
Move on to the next guy.
Yeah, it's
kind of weird.
You
would think that they would kind of delve into circumstances of what brought that man to be.
Absolutely. And like they do to an extent, but it's not like, it's very kind of straightforward. It's not like in a scientific way or anything. It kind of feels like maybe it is kind of dumbing it down for the audience, or maybe they were afraid to get too science heavy in it. And so they kind of erred on the side of caution, but I kind of felt like, they were having these really intense scenes with people who have done terrible things. Like, I kind of want to know more about that, like in terms of the psychology of it. So
yeah, that's kind of where I thought you were going with the premise of the show. That part would be intriguing to me too.
Oh yeah, but it's still a good show. I recommend checking it out. It's on Netflix. They have been renewed for a season 2, and it's 10 episodes per season. It's an engaging watch.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So what do you have for Potpourri?
So it'd be my first movie that I saw with the A-list, and that'd be Sicario, Day of the Soldado, which is Spanish for soldier.
And you were pretty excited about this movie.
Well, so I've had a kind of a roller coaster relationship with Sicario.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go see it originally, and when I went to go see the movie, I remember it just getting amazing reviews. Like, the reviews were saying, movie of the year, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked out of the movie, and I thought it was good, but I took issues with a lot of things in the movie. Yeah, one of my biggest gripes was how naive this FBI agent and SWAT commander of an FBI team was to how things run at the border.
Right.
And so I didn't give it much thought. I remember one of the striking things of the first movie was the visuals and the shots of Juarez and of West Texas and how beautiful that was. And that's kind of like a staple of this screenwriter's movies, because he also did Hell or High Water and
Wind River.
Wind River, yes. Very
Taylor Sheridan, I think.
Yes, very cinematic landscapes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my big takeaway of the movie, and it had the border scene, the shootout scene was fantastically shot too, and some other things. All the Benicio del Toro's character Alejandro also love his character in that movie. So it's kind of forgettable for me at that point. Mm-hmm. Well, then I see that they're coming out with a sequel. Mm-hmm. And I see the previews of the sequel. I'm like, that looks intriguing. Yeah. Because, it wasn't like when I first saw that they were doing a sequel, I took it as a direct-to-DVD type of deal. Yeah. And then I saw, they got Catherine Keener, they have Josh Brolin back, they have Benicio del Toro back. So, and then I saw a preview. I'm like, you know what? That actually looks pretty solid. So I'll go back and I'll rewatch Sicario again in preparation for this. In doing so, I talked to my brother a little bit about it, and he brought more perspective to the first movie than I originally gave credit for, and that was the concept of the FBI agent. My brother also in law enforcement. My whole family's in law enforcement, but speaking to Peter and some other people, it turns out FBI agents are kind of like that.
Really?
Are extremely, like, maybe they're not all naive, but they just don't have the field experience that I kind of expected them to have. And that they're all kind of jumpy for the most part and aren't really all that well versed on field interactions. And because it's an investigative bureau. Right. Not so much an action oriented bureau.
And well, I don't know.
So
I don't speak out of turn.
So having spoken with my brother, my dad as well, who's actually worked very closely with federal agents. I kind of have a new perspective on her character.
Okay.
And so I can appreciate that more. So I went back and I watched it, and some of the things I took issue with, I found to make more sense the second time through.
Okay.
So I came out of the second viewing, like, really enjoying it.
Okay.
To the point where I think I'm going to go buy it now.
Nice.
So that got me preparation for the sequel.
Okay.
Now, broad strokes on it, I thought it was enjoyable. It's not as good as the first one, but there are still a lot of things to enjoy. Premise of the movie is there's a terrorist attack in the United States that's been linked to the smuggling of people over the border. So that's kind of the premise, that how these Islamic terrorists got over was smuggling from basically through Europe to Africa to Mexico and up through the border to Mexico.
Okay.
And so the government is now trying, the whole premise is that because of the smuggling, Mexican cartels are now on the list of terrorist organizations.
Okay.
So they bring Josh Brolin's character in, who works for the CIA, to kind of kickstart a turf war with the cartels.
Okay.
To give more validity towards the making them a terrorist organization.
Okay.
So they bring Josh Brolin's character in, and like, people might think that this sort of thing is a little too nefarious for U.S. government to be involved in. I don't feel that way. I feel like that our government, for better or for worse, has a lot of hands into a lot of things that they shouldn't, and probably carry out a lot of operations along these same lines. And history has shown that, because they've done that numerous times in other parts of the world.
Right.
So to me, that part was believable. And I felt like the way they go about it was intriguing. The original movie trailers I saw made me believe that they were trying to make it more action oriented.
That's the vibe I got.
That was not the case.
Okay, good.
So it is a very methodical take on the progression of this new war for the United States. Now, it's not to say that there aren't action set pieces, because there are, and they're very well done. They also, if you remember in the first one, they make it a point to show you the life of they start off with a child and whose dad's a federale. So they kind of do that again with, this time the perspective is from a child he's not a child, he's a teenager in this movie, but he's an American citizen, but he's Mexican as well. Okay. And so it kind of brings you into the world through his eyes as well. And I thought that his path of the movie, I thought, was very intriguing, and I liked how it ended up crossing paths with the rest of the movie. Okay. So I'm not going to give away like everything that happens and what the government decides to do to try to kickstart this war, but I will just say this. They're clearly building towards a third. Really? And so I was kind of let down, because there's some things that I did not think that they wrapped up well enough for me. That I wanted to see kind of come to a conclusion, and I think they could have. Okay. But on the other hand, Josh Brolin also kills it again in this. He's fantastic in his role, and Benicio del Toro. I love his character Alejandro in this movie. I love his motivations as a hitman. In the first one, you find out that he was a lawyer in Colombia whose family was killed by the cartels. Right. And so he takes it upon himself to train and makes it his mission to pretty much go and get revenge. And so the U.S. government kind of uses him as an asset in certain situations. Okay. Well, his capacity is the same in the sequel, but you get more into his character as a person in this one than you do in the first one. So it's very interesting seeing kind of like his background, his relationship with his old family, and you get that through the eyes of this child, this girl that's kind of like thrown in the mix into this whole scenario. And she's kind of the premise behind the U.S. government's operation. Okay. But you get a lot of screen time between this girl and Benicio del Toro, and that's kind of the more intriguing portions of the movie.
Okay.
And through their interactions and through their story path, you actually get a good idea of what it's like for the migrants to make it through, to try to get across the border. And I really enjoy that aspect of the movie too.
Interesting.
So it's a very good movie. And I'm kind of curious, like I might do it like I did with the first one and wait a couple years before I see it again.
Okay.
And see if I go the same along the lines, end up liking it more. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a very satisfying sequel. I still enjoy the first one more, but I was surprised to find that it was not, in fact, the action heavy,
straight to DVD.
Right. Vibe, so it was actually pretty methodical and pretty thought provoking.
Nice.
So.
And I had I texted you a lot about my thoughts on the trailer.
Right.
Like, it really felt like if Benicio del Toro and Josh Brolin and Catherine Keener weren't in the trailers, I wouldn't have
seen it.
The marketing looked so much like it was just a straight to DVD.
Right.
Even like the poster with like the
the American flag and the Mexican flag and the guy holding the guns. Yeah, it like they really put that forth. Now there's probably more action in this one than there was. Sure. In the first one, but it's not like just boom.
But it's not.
It's not Michael Bay'd.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of good, like a lot of great scenes that have nothing to do with action.
Okay, nice.
So
yeah, I after hearing your thoughts on it, I might actually go check it out.
Well, you're on the A list now, so
exactly.
you might as well.
And that's the thing. I'm kind of nervous about that because if it resets on Friday, like I have one more reservation I can make. But like if I see it on like say Thursday. And then say that I want to see Ant-Man and the Wasp. Well, I guess that
doesn't come out till it doesn't come out till the 12th anyway.
No, I thought it comes out this weekend.
No, 4th of July weekend. I don't think so.
I'm almost positive it comes out.
I thought it came out on the 12th.
Oh no, I know for a fact it comes out because I checked today. Because both Ant-Man and the Wasp and Won't You Be My Neighbor are out.
Won't You Be My Neighbor already came out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it came out a couple weeks ago. But I want to see both, and I was checking the times and everything. But yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out this weekend.
I thought it came out on the 12th.
Nope.
Yeah, fuck me then.
It's okay. We can't all be as genius as me.
It's true. You're right.
Yeah.
And you're right. It comes out this week. Okay.
Yep.
Well, all right then.
So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep. So yes, I think that will do it for this episode of The Obsessive Viewer. Next time, I don't know what Ant-Man and the Wasp or Extended Potpourri because I need to get Tiny back in here and
you need to get Tiny back
talking about it. I don't want our listeners to think that Tiny and I had some horrible falling out and that's why we took 2 months off and that's why the 2 episodes we've had since the hiatus have been with guests and not with Tiny. So.
I drove by a Tiny's house the other day. I saw a very weird effigy of a, it looked a little like you, but he was just like beating it unmercifully with a baseball bat. And I thought, maybe it's just Tiny's working out.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's definitely possible. Yeah. Sometimes I drive by his house and I kind of look in the windows because I just want to make sure that I don't see like a silhouette of him sitting with a microphone.
Right. That son of a bitch.
Right. Yeah, so Tiny, if you're listening, I miss you. And I'm not sorry. No, there's no bad blood. He'll be back. It's okay. So anyway, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and for not facilitating my alcohol poisoning in Vegas.
You're welcome.
So
that's what I was thinking of. We'll make it up to each other in beers.
We will. Yeah, so having said all that, anything you want to say before?
Nope, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Great. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Oh. Yeah. So she'll be back fairly soon. I don't know. We'll see. But today we have Mr. Robert Fekkes, frequent guest, and Oscar wager.
Let's be clever about this.
Denier. Denier? I don't know. Backer outer.
Backer outer?
Yeah.
Look, there was just so much alcohol being thrown around. We really didn't need the shots. I do regret not getting the frozen drink.
You know, I did a little bit. I did regret that, but that last day, I was just like I was sitting there thinking like, oh, I should probably say something to Fekkes about the drink. And then I was like, well, no, I think it's okay.
I did get that Dole Whip.
Oh, yeah?
One, though.
The $25 Dole Whip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think didn't I put my own rum into that?
I don't know, actually.
I think I did. I think I put my own rum into that. But yeah, that was tasty.
That was good.
I'd never had Dole Whip before.
Me neither. And then I was regretting it because after the first day at the pool, or like the last day that we were at the pool, I was like, oh, I'm going to switch it up and get a mojito. And I'm like, oh my God, this is delicious. Why was I not doing this?
Mojitos are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Whew, my pool tab at the end when I checked
God.
out was rough.
Yeah. And see, mine was too, but probably not as rough as yours.
Probably not as rough as mine.
Yeah. But like for me and my financial situation, it was like, oh my God.
True.
It was bad. But it was a lot of fun.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I will say this. In principle, the cabana was a good idea, but I don't think I would do it again because we just never spent any time.
Oh, yeah. It was a
place to put our stuff.
Yeah.
And
it was good for those of us that were severely hungover that day.
Yeah.
It was good for that. But, I mean, yeah, we just spent the whole day in the pool.
We really did. And yeah, I probably wouldn't do it again unless I'm there with the wife and it was that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was neat to have for just the experience.
Yeah.
But we didn't utilize, like we kept the TV on just for, we might as well waste electricity. And we didn't use the beer pong table. We barely used our waitress.
I forgot that there was even a beer pong table there.
Right. And I feel, I'm going to backtrack. I feel like we barely used our waitress sounded bad.
Right.
We barely utilized the wait services provided to us by the cabana. I just kept on going up to the bar myself.
Yeah.
But you know what though, it was cool for the thing, but I don't think I'd ever do it again.
Yeah, same here. I think the big thing about it was that it didn't have like any bottle service built in or any kind of liquor included in the deal.
I feel like that would have made a difference, but it also obviously would have made a difference in the price since bottle service was the cheapest bottle was like $100, which is
that's
outrageous. Yeah. For a $12 bottle of vodka.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So after the day of the cabana, when everyone's leaving and everything, I'm getting my stuff from the cabana and I'm walking down the side of the pool and like there's this guy, like security was at we were on like the end, I think, end cabana.
No, we had a middle cabana.
Oh, okay. Well, the one on the end by the middle bar area. There was a guy there that was like very, like he was livid and like yelling, talking about how it's such a waste of money and how they charge this much for a bottle of just cheap ass vodka and stuff. And like security was there like ready to escort him out and stuff.
Here's the thing. Bottle service is always ridiculous. It shouldn't come as a shock to you.
Right.
The bottle service is pricey.
Yeah.
That's bottle service.
Right.
Like you don't get bottle service at the alcohol aisle in Walmart.
Right.
You get it as a status thing to show people, look at all the money I'm throwing around.
Right.
That's why I never get it. Because I know ahead of time it's fucking ridiculously priced.
Right.
So that's why I snuck mine into my alcohol in with fake suntan lotion bottles.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Yeah. So you're listening to Vegas Cast.
Yeah.
But no, we did have a wager. So for background, if you guys go back and listen to the episode where we we go through the Oscar nominees, we did have a wager where each pick that we got wrong, the other one would have to buy a shot. in Vegas. So I did the math, and I was to do 7 shots. Fekkes, you were to do 6, and we each owed each other a specialty frozen drink. And so I was all this is what surprised me. I was so gung ho about it, and then you were so quick to be like, "Nah, that's too much." And I thought, like, did we just do like a body swap Freaky Friday thing?
Here's the thing. First of all, we were drinking a lot of alcohol anyway.
We were. That is true.
Adding shots to that, you got to be smart in Vegas.
Yeah.
And 2, if you want to get real, if you're going to buy me a shot in Vegas, it's going to be at least 10, more like $15.
That's true.
Were you prepared to buy seven $15 shots?
And see, that's
plus
where,
a $20 frozen drink?
See, that's where I was going to go super cheap and go to a convenience store, get a bottle, and just pour shots there.
Ugh.
Get like a couple bottles.
No, see, I'm not in college anymore. If I'm doing a shot,
yeah.
I'm going to make sure that I don't taste the alcohol in it.
Gotcha.
Like I sip my liquor these days. Okay, I don't shoot shitty liquor, and I know I probably sound pretentious right now, but I'm sorry. I have standards.
You also come down, order breakfast, take a look at it for 5 minutes, and then go back to the room to go to sleep.
I ate like 4 bites of that.
Yeah.
That was the last day for me. It was rough. I drank a lot on this trip, and I don't sleep in Vegas, and that it caught up to me this time. So
yeah.
I won't make that mistake again. I will do cocaine next time.
Well, that's Officer Fekkes. It's funny because like I actually feel like I paced myself pretty well. I basically, when we got to the airport, I had like a rum and coke or something, and then I don't think I had a drink on the plane, but pretty much as soon as we landed, as soon as we got settled in, like I really didn't stop drinking pretty much the whole time.
Yeah,
I paced myself. So
I mean, I paced myself too. It's just the lack of sleep caught up to me. It's the time difference. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, I've never slept well in Vegas ever. So I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
next time I'll take some Ambien with me.
Yeah, and then you'll tweet racist stuff.
Roseanne Barr, everybody.
Yep, bringing it back to the main topic, not bringing back racism. Anyway, so at some point you still owe me those shots, so that's fine.
Well, you know what? Well, that's actually fair. We will buy each other beers or mix beverages in replacement of said shots.
That's a good deal.
All
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to The Obsessive Viewer, presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. You can find more of our episodes at ovpodcast.com, and you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or anywhere else podcasts are found. If you'd like to support the show, the best and easiest way is to leave us a rating and a review on iTunes. More ratings and reviews means it'll be easier for people to find the show in the highly competitive film and TV podcast genre. It also provides us with valuable feedback on the show. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, you can make a one-time PayPal donation at obsessiveviewer.com/donate or become a patron at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer for recurring donations with different reward tiers. Every donation goes toward paying the fees to keep the podcast running and is greatly appreciated. For official Obsessive Viewer merch, including shirts, mugs, notebooks, phone cases, and more, visit our TeePublic store. You can also buy other great TeePublic designs in our store, and we'll get a small commission on the sale. You can find a link to the store in the show notes of this episode and at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. The Obsessive Viewer's theme song is An Eclipse of Events and is provided by Loudlike from their EP, Mistakes We Must Make. You can find that and more great music from them on iTunes, and like their Facebook page at facebook.com/loudlikemusic. Any and all feedback on the podcast is encouraged. We love to hear from you guys. You can contact us by emailing podcast@obsessiveviewer.com or by tweeting us at obsessiveviewer, at obsessivetiny, and at IamMikeWhite. You can also like us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at facebook.com/theobsessiveviewer, where you can take part in discussions and polls between episodes. For more podcast content, check out Anthology, Matt's solo podcast, where he's reviewing The Twilight Zone as a first-time viewer and exploring other classic and contemporary science fiction anthology TV shows. You can find Anthology at anthologypod.com and anywhere podcasts are found. For book lovers, you can check out our sister site at obsessivebooknerd.com for book reviews, author spotlights, and a general celebration of reading. Finally, if you're philosophically curious, check out Tiny's side project podcast, The Secular Perspective, which explores the concepts of faith, religion, and existence from the perspective of secular hosts Chad and Amanda. You can find that at thesecularperspective.com and subscribe to the podcast on the app of your choice. Once again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Kitty!